When most people think of World War II, they picture battles, tanks, and strategy. But for the soldiers on the front lines, one of the hardest battles wasn't against enemy fire. It was against the freezing ground they had to sleep on night after night. Imagine exhausted men trying to rest with snow under their backs, frost creeping into their boots, and a thin blanket of canvas for shelter. Survival often depended not just on weapons, but on clever tricks to keep warm enough to make it to the next day. And believe it or not, many of those sleeping hacks from World War II still work today if you ever find yourself outdoors in brutal conditions, without power or modern gear. The number one mistake soldiers learned quickly was lying directly on frozen ground. The cold from the earth drains body heat faster than the air does. Soldiers improvised by laying down anything they could find, pine branches, straw, cloth, even newspapers, between themselves and the soil. This simple insulation barrier made the difference between shivering all night and getting a few precious hours of sleep. Today, hikers and survivalists use the same principle with foam pads or leaf piles. World War II soldiers didn't have high-tech gear, but they knew the ground was their greatest enemy at night. In camps where fires were possible, soldiers often heated stones in the flames before burying them under their sleeping spots or placing them near their feet. The stones radiated gentle warmth for hours, like a natural hot water bottle. It was risky, too hot, and it could burn a blanket, too cold, and it was useless. But when done right, it gave freezing soldiers a crucial edge. Even now, outdoorsmen still use heated rocks as emergency heaters when sleeping in the wild. One of the oldest and most effective tricks was simply sleeping close together. Soldiers who had fought side by side in daylight would often huddle shoulder to shoulder at night, conserving body heat. It wasn't about comfort, it was about survival. In places like the Ardennes or the Eastern Front, this tactic could mean the difference between frostbite and another day of fighting. Modern campers know this as the buddy system, and it remains one of the most efficient heat-preserving methods in the cold. In the harshest winter campaigns, especially on the Eastern Front, soldiers often dug shallow trenches or foxholes to sleep in. This might sound colder, but the Earth's natural insulation could actually reduce exposure to freezing winds. By combining the hole with branches, tarps, or snow piled around the edges, a makeshift shelter was created that trapped warmth far better than sleeping flat on open ground. This method echoes what modern survivalists do when building snow caves or dugouts for emergency shelter. Soldiers had to get creative with what they wore to bed. Boots stayed on, because frozen laces in the morning could mean death if an attack came suddenly. But they stuffed grass, rags, or even spare papers into their boots for added insulation. Wool socks were prized like gold. Many also learned to loosen their belts and collars while sleeping, allowing circulation to keep them warmer. They didn't have modern sleeping bags, but rolled-up coats, tarps, and any extra cloth layered together created primitive but life-saving bedrolls. Perhaps the harshest reality of World War II's frozen nights was that sleep itself became a dangerous luxury. Falling too deeply asleep in sub-zero weather could lead to hypothermia. That's why soldiers often slept in shifts. One man would stay lightly awake, tending the fire or checking for frostbite, while the other grabbed a few hours of rest. Then they would switch. This constant rotation kept men alive and ensured they were ready if danger struck. In survival terms, this was not only practical, it was essential. The men of World War II didn't have high-tech sleeping bags or thermal pads. They had to rely on instinct, improvisation, and centuries-old tricks passed through soldiers before them. Layer the ground, heat the stones, sleep close, dig down, use what you have, share the burden. These weren't just hacks, they were lifelines in some of the harshest winters in human memory. And the truth is, these same methods can still save lives today. Whether you're camping in the wilderness, preparing for emergencies, or just fascinated by forgotten survival wisdom, the lessons of those frozen nights remain as relevant as ever. If you enjoyed uncovering these forgotten World War II sleeping hacks, don't forget to subscribe to Strange History and share this video, because sometimes survival isn't about what you have, it's about what you remember.